Oh, y'all, do we have a whole lot to talk about? I'm going to show you what is happening. Underlying surface, everything that is going on. The left is doing some stuff that you need to be aware of, while the right is also doing some things that you also need to be aware of. There's a lot happening under the surface, and I'm going to scratch that bad boy right now. So if you guys are enjoying the content, you want to save this country, align yourselves with a winning platform, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on. Let's get into it. You can follow me on on X at Braden LOA. I'm not going to bury the lead on you. I'm going to jump straight into the topic here. So what I'm going to show you right now is what the left is doing to itself. Right now, I'm going to go over a lot of things on the left. I'm also going to show you a lot of things later on today and through the next couple of days that are all about the right, because we're going to have some hard conversations. But it's going to be hard conversations dedicated to both sides. Watch this. All right, here we go. Here's what's happening on the left, and this is really important for you to understand. The mainline left, the socialists, the far left, the progressives, they are pushing the Democratic Party so far to the left that they're going to be unelectable and suffer. Now, does that mean that they're never going to win elections again? No. Right now, the Republicans are suffering under a lack of turnout. That's what's happening. People are not motivated to go vote because everything's fine. Okay, that's a conversation for another video very soon. But now let me get you into this. Erica Lee says, just lost any vibes I had for this guy. Any potential president candidate should be sitting this one out if they aren't going to endorse Plattner. Endorsing a very old person as a senator is a serious lack of judgment. Okay, Plattner is the crazy guy who has the Nazi tattoos on his chest in Maine. The guy who is literally training socialists and Antifa in weapons and tactics, who is a far left progressive socialist. There's a reason the establishment Democrats are going against him, and I'm going to show you in 1 second. Here is what caught the ire of Erica Lee from the progressive socialist side going against Andy Beshear, one of the up-and-coming establishment moderate Democrats. Watch this. I'm going to lay this out for you and tie it all together.
Hi, this is Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear. I'm the proud Democratic governor of the state of Kentucky, and I couldn't be more proud to endorse my fellow friend and my fellow Governor Janet Mills in her campaign for the United States Senate. Janet and I have a few things in common. We were both attorneys general, we're both governors, and we both can't stand bullies. Janet is the only candidate in this race who's actually stood up to bullies, including Donald Trump. As district attorney, she protected public safety and victims and survivors of domestic violence and other crimes. As attorney general, she took on the big banks and big pharma, protecting working people and vulnerable Maine seniors. And as governor, she fought Trump head on, telling him she would see him in court and then beating him in court when he tried to cut the school lunch program for Maine kids. Now, more than ever, we need good candidates and tough public servants to go to Washington to fight for people. I know that Janet Mills never backs down from a fight, and I couldn't be more proud to endorse her in her run for U.S. Senate.
And that right there has earned him the ire of the progressive left. Keep in mind, and again, I'm going to tie all this together for you where I'm going on this. That right there is the establishment Democrat winning message that always wins people over. It's got a little bit of stand up to the bully, the little guy against the big guy. It's got a little bit of the stop stealing money or food from kids' mouths. It's got a little bit of that democratic populism, class warfare angle that they love so much and always works. However, it's not far enough left. That's the whole point. Andy Beshear is one of the rising stars because he's a Democratic governor in a red state. So therefore, he could win in a presidential, in their mindset, because he's a blue state or a red state blue governor. He's moderate, he's palatable, and he's not off-putting like the far left progressives. This is why this is so important. Right here, Janet Mills. Janet Mills is the establishment governor, the establishment choice for Maine Senate. She's saying, I'm grateful for the support of my friend Andy Beshear. The far left ain't having it. You want to know why they're doing it? And this is the important piece. You got to look into the other details. You can't just do high level like X likes to do and like politics little news clips like to do. This is why right here. This is a Politico impact report of Graham Plattner's choices or chances against, what's her face? Susan Collins, the Maine Republican. Listen to this, and it will be very clear why they're doing this, and also very clear why the far left progressive socialists are going so hard, because they don't want to lose. Watch. This is from November 7th. The first significant polling since Graham Plattner's negatives came to light shows that while Senator Susan Collins faces significant headwinds in 2026, she stands to be reelected to her 6th term if Plattner is the Democratic nominee. This is in Politica. Let's continue. The poll, which is the only non-panel polling conducted in recent weeks and the only poll to test Plattner's negatives, tested 3 scenarios: balance information about Plattner, so when people actually listen to what the psychopath is, a series of negatives using quotes in his own words, and a lengthy response from Plattner constructed with his own language. In each of those scenarios, Plattner loses the race to Collins by a significant margin. That's why you're seeing people like Andy Beshear do that. That's why you're seeing Erica Lee, the progressive far left, saying that's disqualifying, losing her mind, because they know that if the moderate Democrat wing takes over, Plattner loses instantly. They just want their far left socialist. The far left progressives are do or die socialism. They are not win for the Democratic Party. They are take over. Parasite wants to take over the host. That's what you're dealing with here. And that's what's happening on the left. I'm going to show you something else. This is happening in Tennessee, and then I'll show you what's happening on the right, because the contrast is incredibly important. This is a woman named Afton Bain. She is running for a Tennessee seat, a plus 22 district, and she's polling pretty well, to be quite candid. Again, more videos coming on that, because it speaks to something else. It's not what the lefties think, but it's something else. This is what she did. They're endorsing far left crazies because they just want to fight something. This is her storming Bill Lee's office. That's her. That's actually her. That's the candidate for the House of Reps, right there on the ground, screaming and screeching and crying after she invaded Governor Bill Lee's office and the police dragged her out with Chick-fil-A, of course. It's all a stunt. It's all a game. That's her sitting there on the ground in the purple, violet, what is that, lilac? Sweater right there, crying and screeching like a child. This is what they're doing. They're going farther to the left because they think that they're riding this wave of populism against Trump. That's her right there. Okay, yeah. I'm so distraught. That's who they want as the U.S. congressional rep. They're doing this in all of their states. They're doing this in all of their races. They're pushing so far to the left, and they're getting children that are going to lose, presumably, in the general. Again, more coming on that in a minute. It speaks to a different problem that she's even in the race. Not the policies. It's about something else. It's called turnout and motivation. Anyway, now let me show you the right side here. This is what's happening on the right. And this is actually quite telling. This is from a super PAC that we covered. It's a report around Hunt versus John Cornyn, the rhino from Texas. The bottom line here is Representative Wesley Hunt is going back towards the Make America Great Again and MAGA conservative movement, while Rhino John Cornyn is in the Senate being a liberal. That's the point. And this is what I want to bring together for this whole video. When you look at what's happening on the left, they are not going mainline Democrat back to democratic principles. They are leaving the democratic principles and they are going towards socialism. They're leaving from the middle and taking a left-hand turn. The Republicans are seeing their senator in John Cornyn going to the left, and they're saying course correct back to center. That's the point. They're going back to their conservative movement. They are not going far right national socialism or national fascism or nationalism. They're not going hard right that way, the way that the left is going far left socialism. The right is course correcting, the left is pushing. It's a tremendously important difference, and everybody on the internet is too busy fighting with themselves to understand what's actually happening. And I'm trying my very best to bring it all to you. So let me know if I landed that plane. I'll see you on the next one. We got some hard conversations coming, and I cannot wait to be there with you. Later.